Tonight, I'd like to start with a question. Who are you? Now, without answering your name, without telling me your profession, without telling me that you're a teacher, or that you're a parent, or that you're a student, who are you really? Now, for most people, when they answer that question, they will turn around and they'll say, oh, I'm a teacher, or I'm an artist, something along those lines. But really, that's what you do. That isn't who you are. It's the role that you play as you go through life. Tonight, I want to go a little deeper. Who are you? And to do that, I want to bring to your attention something not many people know about. It's known as the axial age. It happened 2,500 years ago. Remarkably, across the entire planet, well, the known world anyway, all the different civilizations had the same idea at the same time. It's really quite extraordinary. In India, they had the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita was essentially 3 types of yoga. The first type of yoga is yoga of the mind. The second one is yoga of the body, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. And then there's the yoga of discipline. And when you break it down, that is mind, body, and spirit. Let's go thousands of miles from there to Greece. In Greece, they had Socrates, Plato, playing with the mind, coming up with great ideas about who we are and what we're about. Simultaneously, they also had the Olympiad, which was a celebration of the physicality. In fact, when the Olympiad was on, no one was going to fight each other, and all the rival factions would come together in harmony to celebrate physicality. But they also celebrated the god of Zeus, the god of Thor. And so once again, we see mind, body, and spirit. Let's go thousands of miles now across the planet, all the way over to China. In China, they have Confucius and Lao Tzu. And both of them talked about how the mind can be used to create your own reality. They also had Tai Chi. They also had a belief in the Tao, which is the energy that runs underneath everything. And so once again, we see mind, body, and spirit. It's been a universal concept now for 2,500 years, and remarkably, all of them came up with it around the same time, within 50 to 100 years of each other, and yet no one knew each other. They were thousands of miles apart. Today, in the Western world, we have doctors of the mind, psychiatrists, psychologists. We also have doctors of the body, surgeons and whatnot. And when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to those bigger questions, some of us have religion and others are a little lost. We think about mind, body, and spirit as 3 separate entities. And yet, there is increasing evidence that says otherwise. They are saying that there are 4 things that if you have these traits, you'll have a much better mind and a much better body. The first one is a sense of purpose. The second one is a sense of gratitude. The third one is a sense of meaning. And the fourth one is a sense of connection. When you have these 4 things, your mind will be better and your body will do better. So we're starting to see how the 3 of them work together. They are not isolated things. And to prove that, anyone here who's ever got up here to speak, stomach gets into knots before they get going. Right? And that's your mind messing with your body. There's no problem with your stomach, but your mind messed with the body nonetheless. How about seeing a sunset? Now, I've been down to Key West. In the Mallory Square, they have the most amazing thing where you can watch the sun go down. And everyone's milling about, everyone's holding a drink. It's a big celebration. But as that sun is setting, there's a hush comes over the whole crowd. There's a spiritual feeling of just watching the sunset. It's just a physical thing. The planet's spinning, the earth, the sun is standing there, but somehow it affects us. And when it affects us on a spiritual level, it affects our mind, calms us down. It affects our body and calms us down. There is a very definite mind, body, and spirit connection. How about when you hold a new baby and all of a sudden you think of the bigger parts of life, the circle of life, the bigger meaning to life? You'll have a spiritual experience holding a physical thing. Now, yes, it's a baby, but it's still a physical thing, and it affects our spirit. It affects our body. It affects our mind. So we know that these things are true. However, tonight, I'm not here to convince you which way to believe. That's not what this is about. It also isn't about trying to convince you that nutrition is a great idea. We're not here to lecture you on philosophy and psychology. That's not what this is about. What that's about is this panel here. These 7 carefully selected people are going to have one voice as they speak from their own perspective on this one single question. What is it that we can do to lead a balanced life? And they're all going to come from different perspectives, and I'll introduce them to you shortly. They will come from the perspective of faith. They'll come from the perspective of fitness. They'll come from the perspective of science. They'll come from the perspective of physiology, psychology, all kinds of stuff that ends in GG. A fantastic group. However, as you're listening to what they have to say, some of you are going to be like, yeah, my man, that's what I'm talking about. But some of you are going to be like, wait, what? Pause. For those of you who want to pause, and for those of you who say, yeah, my man, I want to draw your attention to this that's right in front of me. This has the page where all of the different panel speakers are mentioned, and to the right you'll see there's a blank column. What I want you to do is when the thought comes up, when an interesting idea gets presented to you, I want you to write it down in there. Because halfway through this talking with the panel, halfway through this conversation, I'm going to turn the panel over to you guys for an open question and answer. Now, in order to make it just a little more interesting for all you guys, to sweeten the pot a little bit, I also happen to have brought 2 signed copies of my best-selling book, A Life by Design. Thank you very much. And I'm going to give these books out to the 2 best questions asked by the crowd, as voted on by the panel. How about that, folks? You ready? One last thing, one thought I want to leave you with before I introduce you to the panel. It has been said that happiness is not a pursuit, even though it's in the Constitution. Happiness is not a pursuit. Happiness is not something that you find. Money, maybe shouldn't be a pursuit either. Maybe that's not something you find. Maybe happiness is what just comes about when you've settled your mind, and you've got a healthy body, and you have a sense of purpose. How about that? So that's what we're going to try to find out tonight, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to the panel tonight. Let me start with the right page. Here we go. First up, Michael Brian David, the man right here. Michael Brian David was formerly an aircraft technician, but he decided there had to be more from life. So he set off on a great adventure. He went to Nepal and took a vow of silence in a monastery. And anyone's ever heard of taking a vow of silence? This is an extraordinary way to do something, but he did it. Then he went down to the forest regions of Patagonia to go camping. Then he decided to pilot a plane across the entire country. He also went snowboarding down in Chile. And now he works as a mindset coach, helping people find their Zen existence and transform their lives. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Brian David. Have a applause. Next up, we have Dr. Ashley Aldirect. She is a psychologist who specializes in helping high-performance individuals. She studies and uses the tools of neuroscience, clinical psychology, and performance strategies to help the elite stay elite and work well under pressure. Please welcome Dr. Ashley Aldrich. Next up, we have the man, the legend himself. Legend owns a company called Prolific Hosting Systems. It uses AI technology to help companies do better in the world. He has also got a passion for health, personal growth, and community service, so much so, in fact, that he created the Honorable Young Men's Club, mentoring underserved youth. Please welcome Legend Andrews. Next up, we have Benny Anamor. Benny is the owner of Stay Blessed Insurance. What? Something to say?
Was this episode of Seinfeld?
Benny is the owner and creator of Stay Blessed Insurance Company, and he created it through persistence and discipline. He believes in setting goals and overcoming challenges. He is a devout Jewish person, and he enjoys the idea that Judaism brings, which is exploration of responsibility, community, tradition, and purposeful living. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Benny Anamor. Next up, we have Julia Polaris, affectionately known as Jules. Oh, yes, ma'am. She is a green realtor, a licensed green realtor. She's also a yoga instructor and does free yoga in the park on the weekends for those interested. She's a big advocate for sustainability. She's big into conservation, thank you very much, and sustainable living. Please welcome Julie. Next we have Johnny Kimball.
That's me.
That's him. Johnny is a real estate developer, very much a self-made man. He's also a Bikram yoga instructor. And for those who know Bikram yoga, it is the elite, the hardest of the hard, and he instructs in it. He believes in discipline through health and fitness, and he believes those attributes pair beautifully in the world of business. He believes in integrity and living with purpose. Please welcome Johnny Kimber. And last, but by absolutely no means least, we have Eugene Bethair. He describes himself as a child of God, serving as a football coach and dean of high school. His students, he believes, should have a full potential in and out of the school, and he does that through spiritual, mental, and physical direction. Please welcome Eugene Bethair. So we're going to start it off. I'm going to ask these folks a question each. Then we're going to do a lightning round, and then I'm going to hand it over to you guys. So be making notes, be ready to ask those questions, and make this a conversation that we're all a part of. Yes? Sound good? All right, very good. First question, Dr. Ashley, you are up.
Okay.
As a psychologist, when someone says the mind, what does that mean to you?
The mind. I think it's two things. I teach, there's 3 states of mind. So one state of mind is our logical, reasonable mind. And that helps us to build our budgets, to get from point A to Z. And then we've got our emotional mind. And so that is when we are ruled by our emotion. We may, if we're passionate about something, that's going to drive us to do whatever we're passionate about, and it can also get us in trouble, our emotion mind. So, for example, if you're really stressed out or something like that, you might like lash out at your partner or things along those lines. And then I teach the wise mind, so skills to intertwine both so that you can live a balanced life.
Very good. Thank you so very much. Changing gears just a little bit, I'm going to bring this now to Johnny.
Okay, what's up?
Johnny, being a devout yogi, has often heard the expression, your mind is your temple. Sorry, your body is your temple. Would you care to comment?
Yeah, I think your body is your temple, but also I think that your mind controls your body, right? So your mind is like your garden. And I think what you feed your mind, how you take care of your mind, is what you produce in life. So my big thing on life is just discipline versus emotion, because emotions change. So every day, for instance, like if you have something you want to do, you have to have an actual disciplined, systematic way of doing the thing versus on how you feel about the thing. So having a nice body, having not a nice body, sorry, but having good mind, body, soul, and health allows you to maneuver through life in those disciplines. So a lot of people live their life in emotional mind, like you mentioned, to where if I get up and I'm feeling bad, I'm not going to do this, or I'm tired, or I didn't eat today, and that's emotion. So emotions change. So I just feel like you have to live your life by disciplined systems, because the system is the system. And if you don't work the system, it's not going to work. So taking care of your body ignites the system, because if you're not healthy in mind, body, soul, and spirit, you're not going to be able to do the disciplines, and then your emotions are going to overtake whatever you're trying to do.
Very nice. Excellent. Thank you so much for joining me. We've heard a lot about the mind. We've heard something about the body. I think it's time to talk about the spirit. Michael, Brian, David.
Yes.
When you hear the word spirit, what does that mean to you?
Spirit is who hears the thoughts in your head. We tend to think that the thoughts in our head are us. But if you hear the thoughts, you are not your thoughts. The spirit is who's there when you close your eyes and all the logistical boundaries of this world are released, and you get to play in the infinite universe of energy as a playground. So the spirit is not contained within the body. The spirit is connected to all of us. The body is inside of your spirit. That's why you can feel when someone walks into the room, the energy changes. That's your spirits connecting. You can feel each other's vibrations.
Fantastic. Beautiful. Nicely put there. It seems like the perfect segment to turn to my friend Benny and ask, where do spirituality and faith overlap?
A fully loaded question, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you, man.
It's an honor to be in front of these six other lovely. How many do we have? One?
Seven.
Seven. Yeah. So I would say spirituality, religion, and faith, although they're connected, they're not the same. I can use the example of, let's say, Toastmasters and Judaism, for instance. I think they're similar. If someone were to come into this room as a guest for the first time right now, you wouldn't just tell them, just wing it. Figure it out. No prepared speeches, no evaluations, no timers, no structure. Toastmasters has structure, and that's why we're all here. If we didn't have that, they probably wouldn't come back. I think with Judaism specifically, Torah, which means instruction, it provides a guideline for people to show them how to live, how to treat others, and also to be the best version of ourselves. Religion is the framework. Faith is creating the framework and believing that that framework has value. And spirituality is, I would say, the trust in or the connection with God that we have itself, purpose, meaning that goes with it each and every day.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much.
With that,
Yes.
we can feel invincible.
Very good. Let's go. Picking it up from here, Eugene, we've heard about the body, we've heard about the mind, we've heard about the spirit, we've heard about the concept of faith. When you work with kids, you talk about physical, mental, and spiritual strength. What happens when one of them falls short? Not one of the kids, but one of those three things.
Great question, Derek. I think for me, ultimately, what we want is for kids to have the holistic view of all three trifectas. You know, we want them to have the holistic approach with the mind, body, and the spirit. And ultimately, our main mission, our goal, and our objective is to put full attention on each as we go throughout the process. So for me, I'm in a process where we have our kids for at least half a year, you know, for a good amount of time. For us to get to a point where they're fully developed, the first step is to get to know the child, the particular individual. We have to make sure we're taking time to get to know the kids. And by us doing that, we're able to flow throughout the process. So with us, our main objective is to make sure we're going 10 toes down and fully in developing our kids.
Fantastic. It's an all-around mission.
Yeah.
Taking it now, thank you very much. Thank you. Now, we understand the trifecta, we understand the mind, the body, the spirit, the faith. Moving on down to Julie. My question is this. Is there a connection between how we deal with our environment and how we deal with our spirituality?
1000%. You are a product of your environment, and that goes into so many layers that you can sector into. However, because I'm into environmental advocacy, I'm going to focus on the true environmental aspect of needing the sun, needing nutritious food. How can you continue to have faith and think from a positive state? You have to feed yourself healthy food. We're very much disconnected in this society with a fast-paced world and wanting things to be easy. Everything's ready to go, grab and eat very fast. However, if you're disconnected from your food. You're disconnected from your food supply. You don't know where your food is coming from. You don't know what farmer is growing your food. We don't know any of that. Most of us don't. Therefore, it's important to get back to paying attention to those things in order to connect even more spiritually, mindfully, and pay attention to what you're putting into your body, because this is your environment. Your body is your personal environment, and everything that the external environment gives you and you choose to ingest, you are a product of that environment. So you have to be mindful of that.
Thank you very much, Julie. Multiple perspectives. Bring it down to legend. You have achieved so much, and you continue to have a huge amount of energy that you can give beyond yourself. I think you transcend the mind, body, and spirit experience. What is it that gives you such purpose that allows you to push through in all these aspects of life?
I would say that I came to understand that it's not about me. What I mean by that is, once you continue to chase things, chase success, whatever that is, materialistic things, everything seems to come back full circle. And you realize that whatever happens in your life isn't necessarily for you, it's for other individuals too as well. And so, as we go through these things, as we have things happen in life, it's an opportunity for us to share our story and to help other individuals at the same time. Right? And so the way that I look at it is, it's not necessarily about me. It's not, okay, what can I get? What can I do is, what can I do for other people? How can I help this person? How can I provide them some type of knowledge that can help save their life? Like we said, one instance, like we said, environment, we're talking spirituality, one piece of information can drastically change someone's life.
Yeah.
For instance, if we say, hey, you know, you might want to get into real estate. You can get a real estate with 3.5% down, boom, you change someone's life just like that. Or you tell them, hey, check out Toastmasters, and now you put them on a different path of leadership. So once you realize that isn't necessarily about you, you're able to help other people as well.
Beautifully put. Thank you very much. I think it's time to turn them loose. Conversation now goes to the crowd. Who has a question for the panel? Oh, we got one right over here. Pollyanna,
After listening to all of you guys, I have a question. In today's fast-paced world, which is the hardest to protect? Mind, body, or soul? Because it's so overwhelming, all the information. I personally start with my food. That's how I protect myself. But what about you guys? Which one is the hardest to protect?
Who wants to take it?
I think definitely mine, for sure. Yeah, I think mine is the biggest thing, especially with the new age, social media, all these distractions. Because if you're not focused, and like Derek said, I'm big on purpose. If you don't have a purpose, it's something to live for, and you ain't focused and waking up chasing that purpose, becoming more every day. If you ain't focused on that, you're gonna be all over the place. And the scattered mind doesn't get you anywhere. So I definitely think it's the mind, for sure.
Any other
My
questions?
opinion, my opinion, yeah.
We have another question? Yes, right back here.
How do you balance all three? Being a mom, being a wife, being an individual, how do you balance those three levels all together?
Anyone take that?
So I'll,
Yep.
I can we can both kind of do it.
Sure.
BJ Michael.
Go for it.
Go for it.
I would like to say I feel balance has become such a buzzword in society, and it's such a worthy ideal that we think we can get to. I truly believe there's no real balance. It's all about cycles in life, right? The moon goes through cycles, the waves go through cycles, your garden will go through cycles. So it's seasons, right? It's easier to believe of your life in seasons, right? And you could think of, you have 4 burners, right, on your stove going, right? You can only have so much fire going on at once, but sometimes you're like, I know that I need to dedicate more time to this. This is the slow burn. I need to dedicate more heat to this. What can I take away a little bit of heat, a little bit of gas, right? So it's always, it's a give and take, right? And you're always leaning on one side, leaning on the other. As long as you don't go too far into one side and forget to come back, then you'll never drop that ball per se. But balance is just, it's too hard to say, oh, I have this perfect balance. No, you have seasons, right? You got to go heavy on this for this season, then you go heavy on this for another season. And just as long as you learn how to go back and forth, that just makes you more adaptable, and you're ready for any kind of change.
Yeah, no, that was. Stick with that.
Ruth, you want to answer that question too?
I would say to help with balancing, planning ahead, which I feel like females typically do better than males, no offense, but planning ahead. I feel like we're able to multitask more. Planning ahead is what helps me keep balance. Because let's say every Sunday I sit down and I plan out my week. It doesn't go tit for tat exactly the way I want it, but I have an idea of how I want it to go and what I need to do in order to complete my week successfully.
What was your week like this week?
This week, well, I'm doing the
I know,
75
you're
hard
doing a lot.
challenge. Today, for example, I knew that we are having our meeting today and the social. Therefore, this morning I did my morning walk, and then I did my second workout around 11 o'clock. I ate in between that time. I had a few meetings. Then I took a shower. I read my book, my 10 pages that I was supposed to read. And then I continued on with my meetings, emails, and whatnot. I ate again. I prepared, and I came. I planned that to the T the day before because I knew today was going to be back to back to back. So even if it's just the day before, think about what you need to do, even about food. You have to think about your food. If I don't eat, I'm not going to be happy. I'm going to get moody. And at some point, I'm going to start shutting down, and I'm going to, not feel like working out or not feel like reading and not feel like interacting with people. But if I'm taking care of myself and being mindful of taking care of myself and taking it easy, not to rush because we're in a fast-paced society, but time things out properly with mindfulness.
Good. Yes, all the way down.
Thank you. I heard recently a concept of life being a continuum. You have birth, you have death, and life continues. In the context of mind, body, spirit, What are your thoughts on the eternality of the spirit?
Of course you do.
I would love to jump in on that one.
It was a free one.
Having been in a monastery myself and done quite a few meditations with monks, their belief is that we've lived many lives, right? I'm sure you have, Nadine, as many others. There's sometimes you supposedly meet somebody for the first time and you look into their eyes and they just penetrate and you say, wow, how could this person have such a resonance in my vibrations, in my energy, but I've only seen you for the first time. And to second that, they say that we are not learning anything new, we are just remembering. Right? So yes, there is a line, thank you, of our body's life, but our spirit will go through cycles. And if you don't learn the lesson that you came here for, that opportunity, you will come back and be given it again. So the point is to just give yourself the best chance to say, okay, what has this life been given the opportunity to me for? What am I here to do? Who am I here to serve and give back to? Because that's the most fulfilling way to live a life, is by not just reaching enlightenment for myself, but how many others can I bring along the path?
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I'm sorry, I don't have any time for more questions. I'm going to do just a quick kind of lightning round as we close off. One sentence each. If someone could take away one thing that's going to change their life they can do tomorrow, what should that be? Beautiful.
Find a local farmer's market that actually sells local produce.
That's one, right?
Meditate for 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening. It will give you invincible superpowers.
Fantastic. Mike and Brian, David.
Program yourself the night before. If you have a hard question of something that you're working on, set yourself the night saying, I want the answer by the morning. And in the morning, you will have a clue.
Very nice. Legend?
For me, I would say find somebody and mentor them. If you feel lost, I guarantee you're not as lost as you think. You may just be turned around, but mentor someone and bring them on that path.
Very good. Next, Johnny.
Find a higher power, find something to live for and have purpose about, and live with intention. Just don't be going through life just floating around. So,
That's good.
I like that.
Yeah.
That was good.
Eugene?
For me, I would say to connect and love people, because ultimately, without people in this world, people are going to be the people to get you where you want to go in life. All right, so connect, love with people, and that'll take you far.
Good. Dr. Ashley?
I would say prime your mind before the environment primes you. So each morning I do gratitude and then I set my intentions. So I'm living intentionally instead of on autopilot or being influenced by the negative things out there.
Thank you very much. Wow. What a tremendous topic. There's a lot of hands going up to ask questions. I'm sorry there wasn't that much time. For me, I like to think about mind, body, and spirit in the terms of a three-legged stool. When you stand on a three-legged stool, you need all three legs to be the same strength, the same angle to support you. And if you have a good three-legged stool with mind, body, and spirit, you can stand tall and take on the world. If any one is weaker than the others, it's not working. When you have to make a decision, you can ask yourself, is this going to affect my mind, my body, or my soul? If there's a deficit in one decision, there better be a compensation in the other. This is the trifecta. This is the three ways of looking at life. Three doors into the same house. The more we come to understand that, I think the more happy we will find ourselves today. I want to thank you all for paying attention, being a part of our conversation tonight. I want to thank our wonderful man, Julie, thank you, Johnny, Eugene, and Dr. Ashley. Thank you very much. I'm feeling invincible now.
Give him a standing ovation, everyone. Let's go.
Good job.
This morning around 7:45, 8 a.m., I'm working on my mind, body, and spirit. Walking my dog like I do every day. Hoda's adorable. Saw you guys walking the other day. Get this innocuous call. It's Derek. Will you evaluate me? No idea what the speech is about. No idea what the project is about. Been a little bit under the weather. Hadn't looked at the agenda for today. Dignitaries in the room, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. I'm being punked. I'm the last person that should be evaluating this type of activity. However, invincible is an adjective. Invincibility is a state of being. And if there's one thing that we got from this exercise is preparation, wonderful, thoughtfulness in exactly the panelists that you chose. You really went through to pick out the exact points you wanted to bring out to us and had them represented on the panel. I can say for myself, and probably for 38 out of 50 people that are here in this meeting today, that we feel closer to invincible. The state of invincibility is much closer to where we are today based on what we learned from you and from each individual speaker and their point of view. In terms of your presentation, you've been a superstar since you got here, and you just get better. Maybe not Oprah level yet, but that was pretty close. That was pretty close. I want to say that these meetings only get better. You're an asset to the club. And as you bring subject matter and relate it to your mission, which is your book, and bringing us the mindfulness to look at ourselves within this room, collectively and individually, I really feel that you delivered on finishing your path. Congratulations. And on really bringing this room together tonight. Thank you very much for your support.
Thanks so much.